What's up, Cowboys Nation? The Dallas Cowboys coaching staff is finally taking shape, and one of the most important hires has just been made. After a week of speculation, the Cowboys have officially named Clayton Adams as their new offensive coordinator under head coach Brian Schottenheimer. There's a lot to break down here, including Adams' background, his run game philosophy, and how this move could reshape the Cowboys' offense heading into 2025. Before we dive in, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe if you want. The latest Cowboys updates, breaking news, and exclusive analysis on America's team. Let's get this conversation going. For those of you who might not be familiar with Adams, let's get into his coaching background. He's been in the coaching game for nearly 2 decades, working his way up from college football to the NFL, and has developed a strong reputation for offensive line coaching and run game development. Recent NFL experience. Adams spent the last 2 seasons with the Arizona Cardinals as their offensive line coach, helping the team become one of the most efficient rushing attacks in the league. Indianapolis Colts connection. Before Arizona, he worked under Frank Reich with the Indianapolis Colts, serving as an assistant offensive line coach and working closely with Cowboys' new defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus. College coaching background. Adams has extensive college experience, including coaching offensive lines, running backs, and tight ends at places like Boise State, Colorado, and San Jose State. Adams has never been an offensive coordinator at the NFL level before, which makes this a bold move for Dallas. But one thing is clear, he's a specialist when it comes to run game schemes and offensive line development, 2 areas the Cowboys desperately need to improve. If you listened to Brian Schottenheimer's introductory press conference, one of the main themes was fixing the running game. The Cowboys' rushing attack was one of the worst in the NFL last season, 26th in EPA per rush, 14th in success rate, 27th in total rushing yards for a franchise that used to dominate on the ground with players like Emmitt Smith, DeMarco Murray, and Ezekiel Elliott. Those numbers are simply not acceptable. That's why bringing in Adams makes so much sense. Under his coaching, the Arizona Cardinals ranked 7th in rushing yards per game, 8th in rushing touchdowns, 2nd in yards per carry, 5.3 YPC, only behind the Baltimore Ravens. Adams knows how to scheme a run game, and the Cowboys are hoping he can bring that same success to Dallas. Even though Adams is the new offensive coordinator, it's expected that Brian Schottenheimer will call the plays. This follows a similar hierarchy to when Mike McCarthy was head coach, where the offensive coordinator handled game planning, but the head coach made the in-game decisions. This is a smart approach because it allows Adams to focus on run game development and offensive line improvement, while Schottenheimer guides the overall offensive strategy. There are several key areas where Adams' influence could have an immediate impact. 1. The running back situation. The Cowboys haven't had a true lead running back since moving on from Ezekiel Elliott, and Rico Dowdle, last season's top rusher, is a free agent. With Adams now in charge of the ground game, expect the Cowboys to target a running back in the 2025 NFL Draft. This year's draft is stacked with talent at RB, and Dallas could look to add a physical downhill runner who fits Adams' system. 2. Offensive line adjustments. The Cowboys' offensive line underperformed in 2024, and there are major question marks heading into 2025. Zach Martin's future is uncertain. Terrence Steele struggled and could be replaced. Tyron Smith is aging. And dealing with injuries, Adams specializes in coaching offensive lines, so his presence could lead to scheme changes, player development, and possibly new additions to the roster. 3. Tight end usage. In the running game, tight ends play a huge role in run blocking, and Adams has coached TEs before at the college level. Expect Jake Ferguson and Luke Schoonmaker to be more involved in the blocking game, with an emphasis on sealing the edges for outside runs. One of the most overlooked storylines in all of this is that the Cowboys retained tight ends coach Lunda Wells. Wells has been one of the best position coaches in Dallas, developing players like Dalton Schultz and Jake Ferguson. He was pursued by the Chicago Bears, but Dallas made sure to keep him on staff. This is significant because it likely ends the speculation about Jason Witten joining the Cowboys coaching staff. There were rumors that Jerry Jones wanted to bring in Witten as a TE coach, possibly grooming him to be a future head coach. But with Wells staying, that scenario seems unlikely for now. One of the biggest criticisms of Jerry Jones over the years is that he interferes too much in coaching decisions. Fans were worried that he might force hires onto Schottenheimer, but so far it looks like Schotty is in control of putting together his own staff. This is a positive sign because it shows that Dallas is finally trying to build a coaching staff with chemistry and alignment. So where did this rumor even come from? It all started when Brandon Aubrey appeared on the Dumb Zone podcast and casually mentioned that former Cowboys special teams coordinator John Bones Fassel, who recently joined the Tennessee Titans, told him he was going to try and trade for him this offseason. Yes, you heard that right. Aubrey himself said, "He told me he's going to try and trade for me." I don't know if that is out of any sort of reality or whatnot, but he's a great dude, and we're going to miss him. Now, at first glance, this seems like a harmless joke, right? Fassel was the one who helped bring Aubrey to Dallas, and they clearly have a good relationship. But once you start digging a little deeper, things get a little murky. Could this technically be tampering? And should Cowboys fans be even a little concerned? Is this tampering? The NFL's rules on recruiting players, before we start panicking. About Aubrey heading to Tennessee, let's talk about tampering rules in the NFL. Tampering happens when a coach, player, or executive tries to recruit a player who is still under contract with another team. That's why teams usually wait until free agency to start talking about new signings. In this case, Brandon Aubrey is still under contract with the Cowboys for 2025. That means if Fassel was serious, the Titans could be violating the league's tampering rules. However, longtime Cowboys beat writer Mike Fisher had this to say about the situation. 1, Brandon Aubrey is under contract, and 2, Bones Fassel can be quite a goofball. In other words, this is probably just a joke. But still, it raises an interesting question. Could the Cowboys actually lose Aubrey down the road? Why Brandon Aubrey is so valuable to the Cowboys? Let's be honest. Brandon Aubrey might have been the Cowboys' best player in 2024. Think about it. He came out of nowhere, straight from the USFL, and turned into one of the most reliable kickers in the entire NFL. Here's how dominant he was. Nailed 14 of 17 field goals from 50-plus yards, made 36 of 38 field goals overall, 94. 7%. Perfect 49 for 49 on extra points, set an NFL record by making his first 35 career kicks without a miss. That's elite-level production. And for a Cowboys team that has struggled with kickers in recent years, losing Aubrey would be a massive setback. Could the Cowboys actually trade Aubrey? Look, we know Jerry Jones loves to make big moves, but trading away one of the best kickers in football, that doesn't seem like something Dallas would do. Here's why. Aubrey is still under contract for 2025. Unless another team makes an offer too good to refuse, Dallas has zero reason to move him. The Cowboys finally have stability at kicker. After years of inconsistency with guys like Brett Maher and Greg Zuerlein, Dallas finally found a reliable weapon in Aubrey. He's a homegrown talent. Aubrey is from McKinney, Texas, and after switching from soccer to football, the Cowboys gave him his first NFL shot. It would be shocking for them to let him walk away so soon. That said, there is one concern: Aubrey's contract situation. Cowboys Nation, this is where I want to hear from you. Do you think Clayton Adams is the right choice as OC? Will the Cowboys' running game improve under his leadership? Are you happy that Lunda Wells is staying, or would you have liked to see Jason Witten join the staff? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get this discussion going. And before you go, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for the latest Cowboys news, updates, and analysis. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Cowboys!